Coming up on Wake Up NonStop Local, the cost of killing, a new civil case against the Moscow murderer, the restitution that the victims' families want from Bryan Kohberger.
Also this morning, clipped wings, FAA reducing air traffic control across the country, how your travel plans could be impacted as we head into day 37 of the government shutdown.
Plus, a first look at your weather forecast. Cloudy start here as we're waking up on a Thursday. Breezy winds followed up by more afternoon rain showers. I'm tracking it ahead.
There was a conversation about how many, I kid you not, how many eggs a chicken can lay. And that conversation got a little heated.
And pulling the trigger over poultry. A man in Florida arrested after a fight over how many eggs a chicken can lay. The charges he's facing coming up.
All that plus, Spokane in the Hollywood spotlight. 2 movies with ties to the Inland Northwest set to premiere this weekend. It's showtime straight ahead on Wake Up NonStop Local.
Wake up, you gotta rise to the sun. And here it comes, it's time to make the best of what you got to give. It's all about rising, and I wanna be there.
How gorgeous is this? We're starting this morning with a picture from one of our viewers. They captured the sunset last night in Colbert. By the way, this was about 4:30, so if the sun's going down at this time, you know it's getting darker sooner. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kalai Chalk.
I'm Sam Adams. Yeah, we're looking for those silver linings because we've had that full moon that obscured a lot of our view. We want to get some of the pictures of that. That was hard to see in the last day or so. But the good news is with that cloud cover, sometimes you get a majestic sunset. And it looks like we might get a nice little sunrise this morning to go with it. Good morning, Jenny Power in the Weather Center. How you doing?
Yeah, good morning, guys. That is what we are set to see here as we are waking up across the inland Northwest. Sunrise, of course, set for just in about 10 minutes from now. But yeah, if you get any nice photos, always send them our way. We'd love to see them. Otherwise, what we're seeing right now as you are headed out the door, it's mild temperature-wise, mid-40s for Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Pullman, and Chewelah. We are trending mostly cloudy through a lot of eastern Washington and North Idaho, but it's noticeably breezy here. We've got south winds near 20 miles per hour sustained in the Spokane area, so hold on to your hats, literally. Current satellite and radar, we've just got some increasing clouds moving through eastern Washington and North Idaho, and what we are seeing here through the valley floors is another round of valley rain this evening, but up in the mountains it's a different story. This warning has now gone into place for the northern Cascades above 4,000 feet, 7 to 15 inches of snow. So I'm detailing all of that out, especially as we get moving here into our weekend. If you've finally been wondering when we can get some relief from the wet weather, I'll have that in 10 minutes. Guys.
All right, very good. Thank you, Jenny. Now to a new development in the case of Bryan Kohberger, the man accused and sentenced to life in prison for the murders of 4 U of I students in Moscow. We've now learned that a new civil case may force him to pay additional restitution to the victims' families.
During a hearing Wednesday, the judge heard arguments regarding victim compensation. Now, in July, the defense and state had agreed on just shy of $29,000 to cover funeral expenses and the cost of travel for the victims' families to be at court hearings. In September, prosecutors requested just over $20,000 more for the Gonzalez family and $6,900 for Karen Laramie, Maddie Mogan's mother.
Now, the reason why has been sealed, but we can tell you that Kohberger's team argued multiple things, including a point about how much the families have already raised through online fundraisers. His defense saying that he has no way of paying because of the life sentences he's serving. Judge Stephen Hippler, though, not convinced.
What's the downside to ensuring that the victims are as whole as possible from this by ordering the restitution, which again would jump in line from some of the other court-ordered fines, etc. And if the money's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not.
Kohberger's attorney calling the judge's scenario speculative, adding that there's no book or movie currently in the works. The hearing concluded with the judge stating that he would take the matter under advisement and would issue an opinion in the near future. Continuing to track now the impacts of the Safe and Accessible Spaces Ordinance in Spokane. It passed unanimously by the City Council just last week. The ordinance now giving officers locally the ability to enforce public camping violations. NonStop Local speaking with the Spokane Chief of Police to find out how he is directing officers to issue citations.
Chief Hall told us that his officers have issued more than 200 warnings for public camping, 125 citations, and that at least 12 cases, people have gone to jail. Now, Chief Hall says many officers are familiar with people downtown who are camping. He says the more specific language puts a lot of trust in the officers who know these people to make the decisions on whether to cite them or give them a warning.
The citation is issued, and that is an arrest, and some people get confused about that. So a citation is arrest. They get a court date.
People who get a citation don't necessarily spend the night in jail. Hall adds that he's seen a positive reception, though, from downtown business owners in the last week.
This is breaking news.
Breaking news into the newsroom. Representative Nancy Pelosi has just announced that she will retire when her term concludes in early 2027.
Pelosi will have served and represented San Francisco in Congress for 39 years when she leaves office. Pelosi was the nation's first and only female House Speaker. She led House Democrats for 20 years, 8 of those as Speaker of the House.
She has also been a fundraiser and raised more than $1.3 billion for Democratic campaigns, according to her aides. Well, we are in day 37 of the government shutdown, and its impact is growing. The Federal Aviation Administration says it will announce the 40 high-volume U.S. airports that will be affected as they get ready to cancel flights across the country.
The agency now adjusting to the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says his agency will now cut air traffic by 10% across 40 of these high-volume markets starting tomorrow morning.
This is data-based. This is not based on what airline travels, has more flights out of what location. This is about where is the pressure and how do we alleviate the pressure.
Now, the list of those affected markets and airports has not been released, but it will likely have an impact overall for all air travel across the country. FAA has been dealing with staffing shortages caused by air traffic controllers who are working unpaid or even calling out during this shutdown, resulting in delays across the U.S.
There was a conversation about how many, I kid you not, how many eggs a chicken can lay, and that conversation got a little heated, and as it went out into the parking lot, the conversation continued, and the shooter became agitated, became paranoid.
You heard it right there, an argument over chickens apparently leading to a shooting in Florida. Authorities there say it all unfolded early Tuesday morning outside of this pub in Port St. Lucie.
Police say a 44-year-old man pulled a gun and fired 4 shots at 3 people who ran away. No one was hit. The man with the gun was arrested and now faces multiple charges. The teenage suspect charged in the death of Sarah Doxey, the woman who was killed while jogging on Spokane South Hill, will be placed back on electric home monitoring after he violated it last month.
Now, he wasn't allowed to have any friends over to his home while under this home monitoring agreement. He did violate this condition, which prompted a detention hearing October 28th. Then on October 31st, a judge determined he could return to in-home monitoring after November 5th. His trial is still on course to begin January 26th. New information on a man found dead inside a Grant County jail holding cell. Grant County Sheriff's Office now says the man was arrested October 31st by Moses Lake Police for trafficking, stolen property, and theft.
And now we're working to find out how he died. The autopsy results have not been released at this point. But the Sheriff's Office has issued a statement saying the Grant County Sheriff's Office remains committed to ensuring a thorough, fair, and compassionate review of the incident and is cooperating with the investigation by the Central Basin Investigative Team. Continuing coverage now on nuclear waste disposal at the Hanford site. Washington Department of Ecology has announced the first containers of low-activity waste were transported to the disposal facility at Hanford.
This facility is a permitted landfill engineered specifically for toxic waste. The Department of Ecology does say these containers will soon be the first to be disposed of permanently. A new traffic study now shows inconsistent compliance with those slow down, move over laws, despite being enacted in all 50 states across the U.S., including Washington, D.C. That study by the Emergency Responder Safety Institute reveals that in 2024, 46 emergency responders were killed while working on roadways. Video analysis also showed just 64% of drivers actually followed the law, many reporting not knowing their state's specific law. Now, Washington's required law right now for drivers to slow to 10 miles per hour below the speed limit and change lanes if possible 200 feet before and after emergency zones.
Early 2025 data lists the death of Sergeant Kenneth Salas as an instance of when the law was not followed. He was removing debris from I-90 near the Four Lakes exit last summer when he was hit and killed by a motorcyclist. Some of the recommendations now to improve compliance include standardizing laws across the 50 states, improving public awareness, and enhancing police enforcement to boost compliance and safety. The Spokane Transit Authority is partnering with the Transit app to make traveling easier for you, whether it's biking, walking, or riding the bus.
All right, for more on how exactly to do that, let's bring in NonStop local reporter Noah Bolter live from an STA bus this morning in Spokane. Good morning, Noah.
Sam Kalai, we've made it back to downtown Spokane. The bus is still moving as we're on it. I'm here with Carly Courtwright with Spokane Transit Authority, and this is the Transit app, which Spokaneites have had access to before. But Carly, there's some new features.
There are. We've unlocked everything for everyone to use. I'm going to show you how to trip plan using this feature. So if we click on the green box, it's going to open up our trip planning options so we can program where we want to go. You can personalize and have some presets in here. So I'm going to try to go to work here. So I've already got a saved location for work. When I click on it, it's going to give me some different options. Since we just conveniently are at the plaza right now, it's only giving me the one option, which basically says you can take the 22. Bad timing on our part, but normally it would give me a lot of different options that we could take. Let me try to go back here real quick.
So,
we'll try to go to home. Let me go to a different place. Let me go home. So there we go. So I have two different options here. I can go on the 43 or the 4. The 43 is going to be a little bit quicker. And down here I also have got some multimodal options. I can bike and catch the 4. So linking up and giving some different options at the same time.
And we're heading into the cold season. We expect there to be snow routes at some point. So if my Uber's late, if the bus is late, if the bus is having to relocate due to the snow.
Right. So when the 4 is on detour, if I click on this route and I go on this, and the 4 is detoured off of Grand onto Bernard, it'll show it on Bernard. So it'll tell me where to catch it instead.
Carly, thank you so much. Live in Spokane, Noah Bolter, NonStop Local.
Noah, thank you. Time to get on the bus and to the movie theaters because two movies with ties to Spokane about to hit theaters this weekend. They're both getting early Oscar talk.
Okay, we're talking about Spokane's own Sydney Sweeney, starring in Christie, as well as Train Dreams, which is set and filmed here in the Inland Northwest.
Yeah, so let's start with the Sydney Sweeney one because that's a role that she's going to be playing as a real-life boxer. Christy Salters Martin and is also landing her immediate Oscar buzz. Sweeney is almost unrecognizable as the female boxing trailblazer from West Virginia, with reviewers saying it's her grittiest and least glamorous performance to date.
All right, and meantime, Train Dreams, that's another one.
Yeah, it's already in the Oscar spotlight. Parts of Eastern Washington are featured prominently throughout the film, including scenes in Colville, Medellin Falls, and in downtown Spokane.
All right, so Joel Edgerton headlines the all-star cast. It includes Academy Award nominees William H. Macy, Carrie Condon, and Felicity Jones. But the real star may be the setting, was seen specifically on 49 Degrees North and at the Davenport Hotel, among other locations that you're sure to recognize when you watch the movie when it hits theaters.
Oh, that's exciting, especially when the plot's good, but not only that, you're looking at everything in the background to see if you recognize it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's the Davenport. I've been there.
Okay, so you can check it out. That's Train Dreams. That's going to be in theaters starting Friday. You want to watch it while you can because it's moved quickly then to Netflix on November 21st, and then Christie will open in theaters on Friday as well.
Okay.
All right, coming up here on Wake Up NonStop Local, much more ahead, including Saved from the Slaughter. A miniature horse named Cookie is the latest addition to a California sheriff's office.
Yeah, move over little Sebastian, how she's becoming her community's favorite horse, coming up.
Plus, an extended look at what you can expect weather-wise here. We are off to a dry and cloudy start, but the wet weather, it is on the move. When we'll see the rain showers again ahead.